Canelos, ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, a good evening. I've got the microphone on because we are filming tonight's wedding rehearsal. Now, thanks everyone. Ready to start. The first thing I need to ask you is how you have envisaged the walk-in. Are you being walked in by your father? Okay, so what we need to do there is you need to come half an hour before the start of the service and bring us all the gear that we need so that the helper can set all that up. And then you'll have sort of free time to move around and so on. But 5 minutes before we start, you've got to come here, okay? You and the rest of your bridal party. We will have the females in the foyer tonight, if you can just make your way there with your bridal party, the bridesmaids. And the groomsmen, please step up here onto the soleil. Gokula. That's good. All right, gentlemen, your heels should be on the horizontal line and you will be facing the sanctuary at all times, even on the walk-in. After the bridesmaids are placed in their position, I will turn you around at a specific moment and I'll tell you what we're going to do when we get to that point. Now with the ladies, the bridesmaids, who's first? Okay, flower girls, please. Lakshmi, just close that door. Close that door. All right, girls, let's go. Stay there. Wait there. Wait here. Wait here.
Are they walking by themselves?
You can walk them in. If they're under 4, I want the parents walking them in.
Okay.
Okay.
So I am a flower.
Vanessa's holding those two.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Lakshmi on the red carpet.
I was like, damn it.
Gokula here. Can the walking stick go on the other hand? Yeah? You do this. Hand on tummy. That's it. Okay? Okay?
I'm pretending to be a bridesmaid right now.
Lovely. I need to show you what we need to do with yourself. Now, you will turn up with Lakshmi.
Yes.
But you will come in earlier because I need to escort you to your seat.
Okay, thank you.
So by the time they organise themselves there, I escort you to your place, which is like this. We walk shoulder to shoulder like this, nice and dignified. And we're heading for the first seat on the left. We'll probably leave the first seat for your husband so that he can not fumble, and you'll end up here. Okay. Now, ladies, when we walk in, I will lead the procession. So I need the mums with their kids to be behind me, and you follow me in. Okay. Lakshmi, when the last bridesmaid reaches the end of the red carpet, that's when you start walking. That way your videographers and photographers can get you walking up the aisle. Only if you have the flower girl, if you're a parent of the flower girls. But if you're just plain bridesmaid, you're on your own single file. I lead the procession in. Let's go. So not too fast, not too slow. Step up here. Keep coming. And with the flower gauze, you can actually take them to the first row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, cutie. All right. Yeah, with the little ones, front row. They're not going to stand here.
I will be here to spread her dress.
That's right. But for now, you're up here,
Okay.
and I'll give you a cue.
Thank you.
Nicholas. Once all the bridesmaids have come up, you step down with me, and we wait for them to walk up. Ladies, face the sanctuary. Very proud moment, of course. Now, when they get to about here, you will shake the hand of the father and give him a hug. That's it. Will you have a veil? Do you want your father to take off your veil?
Sure, yeah, if that's...
Or do you want me to do that? Because we've got to do a bit of this. You want me to do it? All right, so basically I'll do this. And you will peck Lakshmi on the cheeks. Or a hug, whatever you please. That's it. And then you come here. Thank you. Nicholas, you do this. You step up. Lovely. Too good. And there. Donna Marshall? Katie. So you'll go back there and you'll just lay it out and come back here. Now, will you have flowers?
Yes.
Right. So your arm's going to get tired very quickly. The photographers are going to want to get you with the photo with the flowers in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Once you see them run off, hand over your flowers to Katie. Katie, you'll end up with 2 bouquets. What you've got to do is place Lakshmi's on the table. So that table will be here. You'll place it on that table.
Okay.
That way you can change hands so that you're not getting tired. Once you've walked up, you can let go, okay, for the first 5 minutes or so. And how do we, the next thing's going to be, let me think, all right, okay. Gentlemen and ladies.
There's someone here.
Oh, good. That's good. So your heels are on the horizontal line. That way we're in a straight line, nice and smooth. How do we not faint in church? Wriggle your toes. She was paying attention to the previous one. Oh, you're a doctor. Oh, that answers the question. Absolutely wriggle your toes. Circulates the blood, okay? We get faintings every now and then, unfortunately, mostly on hot days and especially when clothing is tight, whether male or female. And I would say in my 15 years here, I've had more male faintings than I've had female faintings. Now, the other thing men do is they're like, okay, people are watching them, just stay still. And so they're like statues. Don't be a statue. Just move those toes in your shoes, move around. If you need to do a bit of this, that's fine. In terms of a respectful stance in the church, this is good, this is good, this is not good. I don't know if your grandmothers have told you this, but this is what you do when you watch the football or something, I don't know. So you want to be at attention or like this, okay? That's a respectful pose or stance. But either way, don't be statues. Feel free to move around a bit. Now, worst case scenario, and you start feeling faint, don't leave it to the last second. With the first of, walk away. So as you are, just start walking off and go and sit in the front row. Why? Because no one's going to catch you, unfortunately. And what happens is straight on the nose, which is pretty interesting. And we don't want that to happen, okay? Any questions there? There was one once where I was giving the sermon, so they lasted the whole ceremony, right? And then I started hearing the bride breathing quite heavily. And I looked over and she was going. And I said to the groom, grab her because she's about to faint. And we were ready for her, so she fell into his arms and so on. We sat her there, gave her a bit of water. She very quickly came to. And then I said, well, that was a knockout sermon, wasn't it? Anyway, they laughed. We try our best with the humour. We don't always get it right, but doing a video, it's good to get these bloopers in. I had 3 weddings straight, and by the end of the 3rd wedding, I was just exhausted. And we got to the end of it. I placed the groom and the bride to be congratulated, and I turned to the people and I say, please come forward to give your condolences. Lucky they thought it was a joke. So I got away with that one too. All right, now the symbolic movements that we're going to cover tonight are the rings, the Stephana, the Bible reading, the drinking of the wine, the dance of Isaiah or the circle of life, symbolic act, the passing on of tradition, symbol, and finally the tapping of your hands, which represents, you know how in some cultures they say, to death do we part? We believe that too, and we hold that too, but we don't say it in those words. We sort of act it out with the symbolic action. All right, so the rings. I come forward, I say a prayer over your heads. You offer me your right hands like this. I place the rings on your right ring fingers. And Apostoli doing the rings, right? Okay, so you'll come forward, I'll give you a signal. You'll cross your hands like this, take the rings off their fingers, cross them over 3 times. 1, 2, 3, back on. Back to your place. You two face each other and push the ring all the way in. Now, worst case scenario, your ring is designed for your left hand and we've put it on your right hand. Just push it as far as it goes, no big drama, turn back this way, okay? And then each of you just sort it out. If it doesn't go all the way in, doesn't matter. End of the ceremony, move it over to the left hand. So the rings. Now, the other thing I want you to take note of is the line of symmetry in the church. So look at this, all right? It's right here like this. I want you to bring your shoulders to my hand, there. Okay? And you'll see me. I'll be centered either here or here. I'll be moving around a bit. Now, this is important because the human mind is wired in such a way that symmetry is something that it appreciates. So when you guys have drifted that way or drifted that way, at least your photographers are going to get palpitations because they can't get the shot. But everyone else as well, not that they'll notice, but we don't want to distract them for any reason. We want them to enjoy the day, okay? So this line of symmetry is important. The other reason is I actually come forward with the wreaths, which I'll talk about in a sec, and I bless you like this. So this needs to be quite visible. So if you've drifted, I can't do that. I'll be in the face of the bride if she's here, sort of thing, and vice versa if it was the other way around. So line of symmetry. Really, you don't have to remember any of this. We're covering this for awareness. If you happen to drift, no big problem. I'll just do this. Next, the joining of your hands. So you'll hear me say words to the effect of God joining your hands together. Bring your right hands together like a handshake. Rest your arm on your belly, Nicholas, and rest your left arm there like that. Make yourselves comfortable, okay? That's comfortable. Find comfortable, okay? It's a good test of your relationship too, because you've got to hold on for 25 minutes. All right, so don't let go until the end of the ceremony, whereupon I will tap you on the hand. That's your cue to let go. Next, the wreaths. I come forward, I say a prayer over your heads, and then I crown you. This is reminiscent of the ancient Olympic Games. Modern Olympics, you get a gold medal when you win. In the ancient Olympics, you got a wreath, and only first prize got a prize. There was no second or third place, interestingly. But this represents achievement, because it's not easy to bring this together. Like athletes set a goal and they strive with great focus and drive to achieve that goal. Likewise, you have put in so much of your life and so much of your person in order to achieve this ultimate goal, the common life of marriage. It's a big deal, and the church knows this. And so what it does is it uses an ancient symbolic thing that everyone in the ancient world understood, and that was the crowning moment. So when you get crowned on your wedding day, that's what you should feel. What you should feel is, my people acclaim us for this achievement. That's what it means. So enjoy it when it happens. Next. The Lord's Prayer. So there's a moment where I say to the people, please join the bride and groom in saying the Lord's Prayer. Give it a practice. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done, and so on, because you're going to lead the people. I'm not going to put pressure on you with any microphones in front of you, don't worry about that. But for the sake of the videography, it's good to show you saying the Lord's Prayer and everyone else following. It's a nice moment of common prayer together. They're praying for you and you're leading them in prayer. That's an important moment. Bible reading. I come forward and I read a passage describing Jesus being invited to a wedding and doing his first miracle there. Does anyone remember what that was? Turned water into wine. At a wedding, he stopped storms, he gave sight to the blind, he made disabled people walk, he resurrected the dead, he fed 5,000 people in one go. But his first miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding. We read this passage at every wedding. No one gets any special treatment. Everyone gets the same regal treatment. And what it represents is that marriage is the beginning of a lot of miracles. Isn't it? Absolutely. We read between the lines. And we turn the mundane into special things. We wake up every morning and we make every day special. That's what that means. We try and understand the bigger meaning behind the specific narrative. I close the Bible, you get to kiss it. That'll happen 2 or 3 times in the ceremony. And then we're ready to have the common cup of wine. The wine represents your common life. Notice that I'm not coming with 2 cups. I'm going to come with 1 cup. Common life. So you get a sip and you get a sip. It is not technically communion. We do that on Sundays, but it's reflective of communion. Communion means we are one. And it's no accident that a marriage is a reflection of what God is. That's another big deal in marriage. I often say, and people come to me and they say, look, Father, we want to go and do a wedding at the beach or something. That's fine, I respect their decision if they want to do that, but I then have to explain to them why it's important to do a wedding in a sacred space, like a church. And I don't often convince everyone, but I do convince a lot of people to change their mind, because it's important to do it in a church. Plus the fact that all sorts of things can go wrong at the beach. Trust me. Rain, wind, all sorts of chaos. The sound is awful, people are miserable. This is good. It's a bit like Noah's Ark here. Look at the ceiling. I often say it's a bit like Noah's Ark. Nice and quiet, just do our thing. All right, Next thing we have to cover is the dance of life moment. So I come forward with the Bible on my hands. I take you by the hands. Keep your hands together. They will be your first steps as husband and wife. Very, very special moment. Pause. You will take the dress and follow through so that we can navigate around the table. Apostoli, you'll be shoulder to shoulder with Katerina. Or if the ribbon hanging between the Stefana is short, then you'll probably have to be about this distance here. If it's long, you'll end up shoulder to shoulder with Katie. So come here. And we've got to just move in, in unison. This dance of life, look, the cycle of life. Your hands are together. That means you're in this together. I'm leading you, meaning you need guidance in life sometimes, and we get that from the Bible and the Gospel. 3 circles, and we start going to our place. Katie, you'll need to speed up so that you can end up there before Lakshmi gets to there. So you'll have to speed up, as will Apostoli, so that you can. You'll go there quick.
I think it's.
Yes, no problem.
With the crown with the bottle, you do 3.
Okay, I forgot to cover that. So when I've placed the crowns on your heads, I will bring you forward 1 step. That gives Apostoli space over here. Cross your hands. You don't need to crouch. You just bring the Stefana down to your level, and you go 1, 2, 3, back on.
So not actually on their heads.
No, it's often complicated.
Yeah.
So just bring it down to your level, cross it 3 times, and then put it up. Sometimes there's a short best man or maiden of honour. Sometimes they're short and tall. This is the easiest way. Bring it down to your level and then just place them as need be. I like to just be there to fix them up if need be too. Back to your places. Finally, a prayer over your head with my hand on your head. Likewise, this is important. Every generation gets the hand on the head. And this is a representation of the chain of tradition and the value of tradition. And that you're the next link in that chain. Embrace it, appreciate it, and you'll be surprised how much value you will receive from learning, understanding, and passing on. Finally, as I said earlier, you get to kiss the Bible again, and I tapped you on the hands. That's your cue to let go. That's all the ceremonial bit. We sign the paperwork, and before we sign the paperwork, I give a bit of a sermon, a bit of a message. Now, are people congratulating you at the reception or here?
I think here was the plan. Yeah.
You would like it here. How many people have you got attending?
So between 160 and 170, but that includes kids. So I think adults would be
Okay.
150.
So you want them here?
Yeah, I think that was the plan.
Okay.
But we're very happy to do it at the reception if that's better.
Let me see. Oh, you're the last wedding on the day. That's not even a question.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, Nicholas, where I was standing, face the people.
You as well?
Lakshmi. We'll go through that in a second. I'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, if you can help with the dress, that'll be good. Now, with your formal names, in English, we're going Nicholas and Lakshmi. And in Greek, Nikolaos και Xenia. No worries, that works. What happens here is that we get male, female to congratulate. So Apostoli, you come first, you congratulate, and then to Lakshmi, and you place yourself here.
They don't get it yet.
Katie, congratulate.
I can't, but they're not ready yet. So.
Okay, no problem. So you congratulate Nicholas, Lakshmi, and then you come and place yourself here.
Oh, this side. Sorry. Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
That's it. Nice.
That's the other person.
Oh, the next person, then is that yourself?
It'll actually be Chris, but yeah.
That'll do, okay.
Then maybe
We'll work it out
and
in
we're
a
doing
second.
one side kiss, Theo. We'll do that.
One side
'Cause I
kiss,
was like, we're going for the second one. Oh, one? Yeah, one. We'll do
no
that.
problem. Congratulate. That is exactly why we do rehearsals. The Aussies do one kiss, the Greeks do 2 kisses, the Lebanese do 1, 2, 3, and believe it or not, the Russians go 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, the parents come up as well. Now imagine that everyone's finished, everyone's exited the church by this stage, so that you're pretty much the last to leave, and your bridal party will be behind you. So all the gentlemen, you put out your hands like this, hand on the tummy, ladies take the elbow, you guys lead. You guys will be outside by this point. Yeah, so you congratulate first, and you exit the church first. You and the other parents.
So the parents first, then the bridal party.
Sorry, the bridal party first, then the parents.
Okay, so once the bridal party are done, then you guys come. Then you exit.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you hear that? So
Groom's parents first, and then bride's parents second, and then it's just mixed. Yeah.
after the bridal party.
When you exit from the side. At this point, we ring the bell. All right, top step, you kiss. The photographers really appreciate that setup, and then you keep coming. And you reach this landing here. And the photographers take over from here. Okay.
And the people's congratulations from the attendees, does it happen inside or outside?
Inside.
Okay, so
The same way we lined you up, everyone lines up.
okay, cool. So after
And they'll all, yeah, and so as they finish, they come out here, you're the last to leave.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, I'll get someone other than the bridesmaids to hand out the flower and rice cones.